Hey guys, this is Mark. I'm here with some amateur data analysis of COVID-19, or what some of you may refer to as fear-mongering. So let's get started. Here's a graph I made that compares the number of dead per million people of population of a country as a function of time. So on the bottom right of the x-axis, we have yesterday's date, March 28th, all the way back to, seems like forever now, but March 8th. Of course, the epidemic and pandemic has lasted longer than this, but I chose to isolate this period of time for reasons that will become clear shortly. And on the y-axis, we have the number of dead per million of population of the indicated country. And the countries that I have analyzed so far are China, Italy, Spain, US, Canada, and Germany. I've chosen these 6 because I guess they're illustrative cases if any other countries emerge that I deem to be, interesting cases of approach and results. I will add them and we'll go from there. So we have Italy in the green, Spain in the red. Clearly Italy's getting the worst of it with over 160 deaths per million people, and Spain has over 120 cases per million. So these two countries are currently getting the worst of it. I don't know, let's look at some positives though. Okay, so at first, again, Italy is in the green. Italy had this kind of curved growth, kind of parabolic. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's there. But now, as of late, it has kind of not plateaued, but become linear in this kind of sort of 40-degree angle line. Spain, in the yellow, we see the similar thing at first, kind of this parabolic increase there, but that quickly, maybe not quickly, but became linear. I think you'll immediately notice that Spain's linear increase is steeper than Italy's. So that means the situation is getting worse there faster than it is in Italy. I don't know, I've read that this may be due to an initial, the virus spread in Spain faster at first than it did in Italy. So it has more initial hotspots all over the country, rather than Italy's concentrated, just handful of hotspots. But who knows, really? So it is nice to see that the curves have not been flattened, but their exponential growth, the scary growth, has been trimmed or hedged or, slowed down for now. So that's nice. It would be nice to see, obviously, inflection points in the other direction, some actual flattening of their curves. So we'll see how that goes in the next few weeks. What about the other 4 countries? So we have China, US, Canada, and Germany included on this graph. What you will notice is that some of them, all of them, are, when we look at the graph this way, just kind of small, insignificant blips in comparison to Italy and Spain. But yeah, so that's good news. So that means the situation here is not as bad at the current point in time as in Italy or Spain. But let's investigate this a little further. So what I'm going to do now is take the y-axis. So basically we're going to zoom in on these tiny little bars down there by changing the range of the y-axis from, what are we at now, 0 to 180 to 0 to 7. And, okay, what do we see here? Let's, just a second, please. Okay, sorry about that. So what do we first see? China is in the purple, and what you will immediately notice is how flat their curve, if we can even call that a curve anymore, is. So what does this mean? Judging by this data, it means they have the disease under control, the spread, or the virus under control, the spread under control, and the new number of deaths, at least. By the way, I chose deaths rather than cases to analyze the differences between countries, because I guess not everyone's getting tested, so maybe the case count doesn't give you the full picture in a lot of countries. Some countries aren't even testing at all. So I guess the number of deaths gives you, at least in my opinion, a clearer picture of what's going on. And number of deaths divided by total population of a country gives you, I guess, their proportional performance of fighting this outbreak. Yeah, so how did China get such a flat curve? First of all, do we believe the numbers coming out of China? That is an interesting question. China has been known to inflate or deflate a lot of economic numbers, their currency, and I guess doesn't have the best reputation in the geopolitical world of being truthful. However, I personally do believe their numbers. Why do I believe their numbers? Okay, let's start with how they responded. So in the first few weeks of this this outbreak at the time in China, they did try to contain it, but they also tried to cover it up. They didn't let the rest of the world know right away. Why would a country do this? I imagine there's a number of reasons, but probably the most important is to protect foreign direct investment in your country. It might spook foreign investors to invest their capital in your country if there's a virus running around, if there's panic, or if there is an actual danger to the public at large. So yeah, China did a few weeks of that. Some doctors were silenced. The whole thing was really weird. But then once they realized that it was out of control, at least within their borders, they let the WHO know right away, gave them all their data, and immediately acted. How did they act? They imposed a Wuhan shutdown, also in its province, then shortly after a nationwide shutdown. And they enforced it. They enforced it quickly, they enforced it well. They used their whole totalitarian, authoritative, I guess, apparatus to inform their population and to enforce the lockdown. Now, I kind of refuse to believe that that's not working. I think it is working, and that's what we're seeing. A lot of people are saying they're lying about their numbers, they're covering up tens of thousands of deaths. And I'm also seeing a lot of, I guess, darker, dumber, more disturbing conspiracy theories involving China. I don't know. I think some of this might be some combination of Western propaganda working on Western minds. Maybe some slight racism, maybe some jealousy because China is emerging as a global superpower, and maybe just some sense of we don't want to admit to ourselves that the red commies maybe, just maybe, handled a crisis competently. Yeah, anyway, okay, so enough about China for now. Oh, wait, one more thing. So yeah, their curve is flat now, but they are currently starting to lift the lockdown, at least partially. So not everything's going to be open, but they're going to try to get the wheels of their economy going again, and we're going to see how that turns out. They're going to act as the canary in the coal mine, as Bill Ackman likes to put it, for the rest of the world on how the post-lockdown world is going to look like and I guess how many more outbreaks or deaths will there be after. They're still going to enforce social distancing. It's not going to be, there aren't going to be massive gatherings. They're not going to be huge parties and all that at first. So we'll see. That will be interesting to monitor. So yeah, now enough about China. Let's look at the United States in blue. What do we see? So we see, first of all, this curve doesn't look like any curve that we've seen so far. It's got that classic polynomial exponential growth. That's bad news, obviously. Why is this? So that means that situation's getting worse and worse every day. More people are spreading it, and more people are dying of it, and we're getting they're getting closer to that that point where their healthcare system can get overwhelmed. So why is this? I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. Well, I am going to speculate, but only on a few factors. I think if your president doesn't take something like this seriously for months, calls it a Democrat hoax, that certainly doesn't help. If your vice president, who is in charge of this whole thing, Mike Pence, who is known for his pray the gay away and pray the AIDS away in his home state of Indiana approach. Neither of those worked, obviously. That, and I guess the population at large not taking it as seriously as quickly, and yeah, okay, that's enough for that. So yeah, they have this exponential curve right now. Germany in the black. Also, exponential curve. Not as steep as what we're seeing for US in the blue, but still, it's got that parabolic curve. In the last 4 days, maybe that is kind of, I guess, more linear than exponential, maybe. Not enough data at the moment to say for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. And Canada in red, of course. It's down at the bottom, so the situation here is better than any other country, at least on this graph. To me, that growth so far looks pretty linear, which is good. We're not seeing those kinds of curves that we're seeing for US and Germany. But of course, this could just be the beginning, and hopefully we're not just on a very zoomed in version of our own exponential curve. However, just going by this, it seems like what we are doing is working. It seems like our population is taking this seriously, and at least the vast majority of us are socially isolating. They're doing all that other stuff that is rammed down our throats for good reason, which is nice to see. It also means that I guess our government, our population, and our healthcare workers are doing doing a good job. And maybe they deserve a little more recognition of this fact than they currently enjoy. Maybe. Yeah, so that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this, I guess. I hope to increase the production value of future videos if I make any. I'm currently backing up, or restoring a backup on my Mac. So I hope to record future episodes by just screen capturing in the box, and it'll be on a retina display rather than a motion sickness inducing cell phone recording of a screen. So yeah, let me know what you guys think.